Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of gold franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, look at my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, Kid Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Two-Code in the building. Bro, what's good?
Man, what up, man? We gotta, we didn't have the block party last night, so we gotta give the people a block party today, man. So we're bringing the
Yeah.
people a Thursday night block party. What's good with the GOW, man? As we are gonna sit here and talk a little dynamite from last night, man. But other than that, man, bro, what's good with you?
Man, bro, hey, look, I'm good, man. You know, we had to come talk to the people. Had to give them a rare Thursday night block party. Tomorrow we got the Friday night delight, the 2-piece special. You know, give them the chicken
Ah,
wings and the bis. Oh, wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
I
no, no, no,
forgot.
yeah.
I
We gotta
forgot.
talk
I
about,
forgot. We
tomorrow.
gotta talk about that. I forgot about that. But anywho, forget tomorrow. We talking about tonight. But hey, man, hey yo, this your world, man. This AEW. Talk to the people.
All right, man. So look here, man. Last night, man. It kicked off what honestly for me, after fighting Brian Danielson at the pay-per-view, the big question was who was going to be the next number one contender. Leo, what's good with your brother? Who was going to be
What up,
the
Leo?
new number one contender to
Yeah.
MJF's Triple B championship? And
Mm-hmm.
we started off with the re-bro mitzvah of MJF celebrating, becoming a man again as he beat
Yeah.
as he beat Brian Danielson, the best wrestler in the world, and is now
Mm-hmm.
the best wrestling champion in the world. And he had his little Jewish bar mitzvah, re mitzvah, and MJF just doing what he wants to do. And then of course, man, he talked a lot of shit, but
Of course.
then of course, I guess the circle came out with they came out with the chair. I'm not sure what to call it. I don't want to be disrespectful, but
Right,
they
right, right.
came out, of course, to do the traditional dance and and the celebration. And of course, they did the dance around. They did the big circle dance around the chair, and then of course they put MJF in the chair, and they almost dropped him about 3 or 4 times.
Right,
Not
right,
even gonna
right.
lie, I was hoping they would drop his ass 1 or 2 times, at least one good one. And then as that was going on, man, we get that familiar music from Jungle Boy, which I'm starting to think, man, I think it's time for him to change his music. Uh,
Yeah.
just to add the tempo, make it a little rougher or something. But we got Jungle Boy coming out, and as Jungle Boy was getting ready to say something, then we got that Spanish guy, that boy Sammy Guevara. And as he comes out, and as he's getting ready to say something, we got that boy, that one and only crazy man, that boy Darby Allen. And what do we got? We got the 4 pillars of the future of AEW standing
Mm-hmm.
right here in the ring. Guevara, Jungle Boy, Allen, MJF, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And basically, what this boils down to is they all want a title shot at the man. They all want a title shot at
Yeah.
MJF. They're all tired of the fact that he got to walk in here. They didn't. They all had to wrestle on dark and elevation and elevation and everything else just to get their opportunity. Where this guy got to sit back and just be handed the opportunity, the keys to sing and do dances with Jericho and not
Right, right.
wrestle as much. But then when he does have his matches, they're on pay-per-views, they're on the main event of the shows. And basically, man, they've all had enough of his shit and they want to whoop his ass and they want to take that title from him. With that being
Yeah.
said, bro, what did you think?
I mean, dude, all right, going back to what you said to start it off, we had MJF come out, he had the rebar mitzvah and all that, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody started coming out one by one by one. I like this because, we really got a chance to focus and tell an intriguing story because now this, at the very least, this can go 3 different directions as far as the Darby Allen, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. The cool thing also was that Sammy also had a match later on that night. So the fact that Sammy came out knowing that he had a match already, and then it's like, hey yo, I still want to give you that work. And then MJF, he
Right.
had a solid point, as well. He said, hey, first of all, yeah, you guys, we are the present, the past, and the future of professional wrestling. But let's not forget, I beat all y'all asses. So, don't come out here demanding the damn thing because I done already ran the gambit up on your ass. Now, this is what I like because as far as Jungle Boy, I want to go one by one on the case by case here. So Jungle Boy, the thing was, like you just said, how you switch up the music a little bit. I wanted to see more from Jungle Boy since he came into AEW. When he first came into AEW, he was that
He never talked. He
girl.
never talked.
Yeah, he never talked. It was always, Christian Cage. Once Christian became a factor, and then you had the Muscle being Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy was kind of just there, that young innocent heartthrob, right? Okay, eventually after a while, that shit got old. Now you got Jungle Boy on his own, and it seemed like he was trying to be more aggressive, but it didn't really work. I like yesterday. The one thing I can say about everybody in the ring last night, everybody looked strong on the mic, and that was key for me, especially Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy to me showed a little bit of an edge. He showed a little bit of a roughness. It wasn't that clean cut white meat, baby face, super duper nice. Nah. Hey, he lit up in the MJF's ass, and he was talking that talk because guess what? He said everything that everybody is already thinking about anyway. And then speaking of that, you got Darby Allin. Darby Allin saying the same thing. He like, hey, I don't give a damn about I don't give a damn how much money another company's talking about. You can't put a price tag on letting me be me. I was gonna come into AEW and I was gonna either succeed or fail, but I was gonna fail as me. I wasn't gonna conform, and I'm not gonna sit up here and bitch and complain and whine online every time something don't go my way or threaten to leave the company. There is no bidding war. And then you got Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara said the same damn thing. He was supposed to come in to be a jobber for the guys. He's supposed to come in and just be, a lackey for Chris Jericho. Sammy Guevara was not supposed to be the 3-time champion he has already become. Sammy Guevara wasn't supposed to become a pillar. You and I, we said the same thing when Sammy Guevara first came to AEW. What's the first thing we said? We said, man, the dude, he could wrestle, but let's lose the fucking panda head. Let's lose that shit.
And put some effort into your man. Put some effort into like you want to be out here, man. You looking lazy.
And that was the thing with Sammy Guevara at first. I think it was a case of he's so good and he's so talented and he knows that, where it's kind of like it's almost like being the championship, winning team, right? And then you play to the level of a terrible opponent because if you want to, you can sit up here and mop the floor with them. But you know what, man? I know I'm better than you, so I'm not even gonna exert all that energy, man. I'm just get a bare minimum. So, that's what that was. So Sammy Guevara, he came out, he cut a hell of a promo. And then you got MJF. I like how MJF, say what you want about MJF. At the end of the day, the guy is a hell of an entertainer. And he sold it. He sold that.
He's the star. Like he said, he's the star.
He sold that bump off the apron through the table or on top of the table, which was supposed to be through the table. But we all know AEW tables is not reliable, and MJF got his shot. So I like how everybody they got time on the mic. Everybody kind of got to cut the shit and really just express themselves, and they all gave it to MJF. But at the same time, MJF gave it back. But moving past that, now we starting to see, because what did we say? The one thing we was worried about was Ricky Starks. He kind of fell into obscurity for a quick second. We brought him up. Powerhouse Hobbs. He got lost in the shuffle. We brought him up. We needed more women to build up outside of Britt Baker. Bam. Last 6-7 months. Now, I ain't going to lie. The AEW's women's division is looking stacked. Now we just need to put decent storyline and time on TV behind them. And then now Jungle Boy, he's back into the fold. Darby Allin, he was in the fold and out of the fold. Now he's back. Orange Cassidy, he's getting pushed. So now we're finally starting to see Tony Khan now rely on the veterans from other companies, and now you're really starting to see the homegrown talent shine. And I feel like he did a great job of displaying the homegrown talent in this opening segment. Yeah, it was supposed to be the Rebar Mitzvah and focused on MJF, but I like how they used that spot, like that 20 minutes that Jungle Boy says MJF gets every single week without doing anything any other day of the week, and they were able to evenly distribute that amongst the other talent and shine a light. So now when we coming up on these next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever the case may be, now I'm interested in the MJF feud because who is he going to fight? Is he going to fight Sammy? I don't know. Sammy's kind of doing this thing with the Inner Circle. I mean, not with the Inner Circle, with the JS. Is he going to fight Darby Allin? I don't know yet. Jungle Boy, what's up with that? So it's just like, man, you got so many different directions you can go, and I'm excited, bro.
No doubt about it. Definitely excited. Again, and he's going to go through all three of them. Like, and the question is, can one of them actually beat him? And that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, man, can one of them actually beat him? Like, and will MJF really run the gauntlet through everybody in AEW? Because,
Yeah.
and I don't know because we haven't got to Kenny Omega going back for the AEW championship. We haven't gotten Heyman Page going after MJF for that championship yet, which we thought was going to happen before Moxley and the whole Blackpool Combat Club. Which, man, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and you got something. You know you're going to get something out of each match. The pillars are going to fight each other and show you why they're
Yeah.
the pillars. Just a real few quick, man. Earl says, man, what's up? Missed AEW last night. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to sit in the back of the class and just join
Yeah.
the show. Of course, we got the LCJ in there. And of course, Leo talking about the mic drop. Then, of course, Lonnie, what's good, bro?
Lonnie.
Glad you're on the show. And what do we got here? It says, oh, Earl says, man, the AEW women's division looks better than WWE's. I mean, franchise quit making he said quit making effing sense, man.
Yeah.
stop bringing logic, man. They don't like when we bring the logic. Well, man,
Hey,
that's
you
what we're
got
here for,
to.
man. That's what we're here for. But like you, that's the one thing that I've liked about AEW. It is that we've,
Yeah.
people were worried about, all the veterans and all the old heads or the people that were something not really be nothing come in and just dominate. And it
Yeah.
did look
Yeah.
like that. But we also understood that AEW didn't have a lot of star talent. They needed some names with some recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I've constantly said it for those first couple of years. Like, yeah, they're gonna need some of those names just to help them get along. And then once they
Yeah.
get along, it's like, bruh, it's gonna be hit or miss with some people. But by this time, we didn't know what was gonna happen with Vince. So I think that's the only
Yeah.
difference because hey, ain't no telling. But we're gonna move on, man, because we got a lot of
What
show
up,
to get
Kev?
into, man. What's going on, Kev, man? What's up with you, brother? All right, man. So speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, who have officially, and I mean, boy, they have officially gone heel. There is
Yeah.
no doubt about it. They went up against the Dark Order and Hangman Page in a trios match. Basically, in the end of this, basically what it came down to is Dark Order lost. The Blackpool Combat Club, they cheated. They did everything possibly. Willa Yuta hit Hangman with the ring bell. Evil
Mm-hmm.
Uno caught them hands. I mean, him and Stu
Yeah.
Grayson looked great. The crowd was hot. They pulled off their moves, but in the
Yeah.
end,
In
the
the end.
Blackpool Combat Club, man, they just came up, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
as they were beating up on the Dark Order, you got the rest of the
Yeah.
Dark Order coming out, and Reynolds and Johnny Hungy, and of course, man, that was that, bro. Real quick, man, just your thoughts on that match, or just now seeing the Blackpool Combat Club. You got the Ring
Yeah.
of Honor champion Claudio
Mm-hmm.
Casanova. You got Willa Yuta, the pure champion, and then of course you got that one and insane dude, John Moxley. Now they're
Yeah.
going heels. Moxley, you can kind of say he was always heel because he never really gave
Mm-hmm.
a damn, but now he's going to give even less of a damn. And I don't even know
Yeah.
how much you give more less of a damn than not giving a damn, especially for him. What are
Right,
your
right,
thoughts
right.
on the Combat Club now that they're going heel and what you want to see from them?
I mean, it's about damn time. It's about time. You know,
Yeah.
I love Claudio. Claudio, that's my guy. How you doing? Willie Yuta, how you doing? But hey, look, man, let's cut this shit. Oh my goodness, I ain't even got the button up right now. But yo,
I was about to
okay,
say,
look,
like, how you not had the button up?
you know what? I'm gonna talk
No,
long
Earl,
enough to
it's
bring
not
it back up.
televised.
But my thing is this: it's like, okay, when it comes to the Blackpool Combat Club, y'all a bunch of mud stomping, ass kicking, you know what I'm saying? Teeth punching machines. All right. Look, the
Mm-hmm.
whole babyface thing, that's cool, but it was bound to end. It was bound to end soon because at the end of the day, bro, you can't stand for what you stand for and walk around shaking hands, kissing babies. It don't work like that, man. You got to let these people know, man, you about your business. Come on
Right,
now. You
right,
got to
right.
let these people know. John Moxley. I mean, first of all, I could kind of see that coming because the wrestling internet community, they've been absolutely shitting on Moxley for the last couple months anyway, because everybody's bitching and complaining about, oh, Mox, he can't wrestle. The only thing he can do is bleed, blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
Claudio, oh, he's come to AEW and he hasn't done anything since he's been at AEW. Blah, 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 blah. Willa Yuta, Everybody was on Willers on his El Nutsos, you know what I'm saying? His huevos when he first came to AEW. And then, it seemed like people kind of cooled off. You know what I'm saying? The block was hot. Back then they didn't want me. Now how they all on me. And now all of a sudden, you want to act all phony, you little jabroni. I don't know what they doing, too cold. Man, look, let me tell you. It's time. Yeah, we talking that talk. Happy 316 day. The franchise got something to say, man. The Blackpool Combat Club, they coming to AEW. Take one for your boy. The Blackpool Combat Club, they coming to AEW, and it's time to lay the smackdown. We ain't got time to be friendly no more. We done been there, done that. Claudio, he next up, man. Let my boy get his shine on. Moxley, he coming in, whooping ass, taking names. Hey, what that boy Brian Danielson, what he say once upon a time? He ain't come here to AEW to make friends.
He came here to kick heads.
Yeah, no. He said another word before his. Kick some what kind of his?
Oh, well, I don't want to say because we monetize now.
Hey. I said no, but y'all get the point. but so that was cool. But I will say this. I will say this to kind of tone it down a little bit. I was genuinely excited to see Stu Grayson come back. My boy, he came back with something to prove. My boy came in looking like he was Rey Mysterio for 20 years ago. My boy was flippy doing it, whoopty all over the place and looking good doing it. And that crowd was hot. And may I say, AEW, WWE, they need to run more shows in Canada because, boy, man, that crowd was so appreciative.
Wrestling country, man. There's just some places where wrestling just tops it, and that's definitely a wrestling place to go. Canada, period, is just wrestling all up and down.
And as a fan, that made me feel good, man, because it was like, okay, even though some of the matches where I wasn't like 100% watching it, and I was kind of like, doing other things, but listening and as background noise or whatever like that, I was still into it, bro, because it was like the fans, bro, the crowd was into it. It's like listening to a baseball game on the radio, an announcer makes it all. A good storytelling announcer with energy and passion, bro, he make you feel like you there. The crowd made me feel like I was there, and it was a great match, man. Great show.
For sure. The crowd definitely was hot for the entire show. Especially when we get to the main event, boy. I think the crowd they just blew they blew their shit for that show. Next up, man, Jade Cargill won. That's just I'm just gonna leave it at that. She won. But we got Taya Valkyrie making her debut in AEW and coming out to step up in front of that champion, that bitch's champion, Jade Cargill. Bro, finally may have met a match for Jade Cargill.
I'm thinking possibly. I believe right now what you need to do, if you're not going to put the title on Valkyrie right now, keep her as far away from Jade Cargill as possible. Because
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen soon.
Well, see, here's my thing, and this is my question: what is the status of Chris Statlander? What is her status? Because if she's close to returning, they say she supposedly she's been backstage for a while now. So if Chris Statlander is close to returning, if it's only a matter of time, then I believe Chris Statlander should still be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. And I think that'll do more of a pop at this moment than it would for Taya Valkyrie. However, now if Chris Statlander isn't available, she's still on the shelf, Taya Valkyrie is the next one up because you ain't going to use Saraya. You ain't going to use Toni Storm. You ain't going to use Ruby Soho right now. Britt Baker's in a whole different situation. So
I don't know.
You think Britt? You thinking Britt?
No, I would like Britt. I'm thinking the Outcast.
You think so?
I'm thinking why not? Jade Cargill is an AEW original. They would go after her. I could see them going after her. I could see one of them going after her and causing her to lose her championship.
Yeah,
I could see that. But obviously it would be built up. It wouldn't just randomly happen on TV. It would be something that would have to be built up for a pay-per-view coming up or whatever. But I I'm not ready for Ty to come in just yet. She's got a match on Rampage
Yeah, yeah.
coming up Friday,
You
so
got to
she's gonna
build
make her
up to that a
debut.
little bit.
Right. So I want her to build up to you before she gets to Jade, and then her and Jade, get to throwing them bows. It says, man, it pains me to say it because I love WWE too, but the crowds are so much better, active, and fun to see than any WWE crowd. I know they can. What do you say? I know they can annoy it on an occasion, but AEW has more engaged crowds. Yeah, the crowds are
Yeah,
definitely more engaged. And no, it's not the big. They don't do huge arenas. They do the 10. They do the 7 to 10, 15,000 seat arenas. I think this was the largest arena they've done in Canada, or at least for AEW.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just outside of the LA, because this was like one of the largest crowds in Canada for that night. But the fact that that place was sold out, like you didn't really see an empty seat. Like everybody was there, like just sitting there cheering, going bananas the entire two
Yeah.
hours. Like honestly, the fans were the highlight of the show because they really kept you more engaged, especially when we get down to the Orange Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett match. But
Mm-hmm.
before we get to that, before we get to that, let's get to a couple of things. Uh, Ricky Starks cut a promo on Juice Robinson, basically, stop being a bitch, come see me man to man, come get these hands.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
and then they cut this dumb QT Marshall. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell is that?
The QTV,
Yeah, the QTV, but what is it a ripoff of?
Miss TV.
no, man, the ripoff the real live news. TMZ. TMZ.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
was. They were doing a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
TMZ style where they,
yeah.
yeah. And then Hobbs, basically, yeah, that it was stupid. I don't want to go too much
Yeah.
far into it. It was stupid. I didn't really find it funny or care.
Apparently Leo was a fan.
Leo was a fan. No, okay, Leo, you liked it. I didn't. And then we got to Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was not a. This wasn't a bad match. I thought it was a good match. I think the interference definitely uh hampered it a little bit, but it was understanding
yeah.
because you knew Jeff Jarrett was going to have interference. You know, Sanjay Dutt and Singh were
Mm-hmm.
going to be out there to interfere. And then eventually, when the referee got knocked down, who comes down? Aubrey Edwards. She sets the order, she sets the law, but we forget about Jay Lethal. And then he comes out and he does what he does. And he tried, he did hit Cassidy with it, but, Cassidy kicked out. Jeff Jarrett couldn't get the pin. And then Cassidy, he muscled one good orange punch, with that injured knee, and he was able to deliver it.
Right.
And he retained his championship, man. The crowd was hot for this match.
Super. Way more than I
I,
expected.
I think they were over hot for this match. I liked
Mm-hmm.
it. There were some points where I didn't like it, but
Right.
I wasn't disappointed. Like, it did like towards the end, like once Jay
Mm-hmm.
Lethal kind of came out there, I'm like, oh man, they really about to screw my boy out this championship. So they delivered on that part of really making me think they was about to
Right,
screw
right,
my
right.
dude out this championship, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he retained. But other than that, it was a good match. It was a good match. I'm not hating on it. Parts of it could have been a little better, but it was a good match. Orange Cassidy retains the AEW temporary international championship. What you think of the match, man?
No, yeah, the match is cool. And you know what? I ever so often I have to do this. I will go on record and I will say I franchise here at the GOW. Would like to apologize to Jeff Jarrett because this
Wow.
match is actually
Wow.
better than I thought it was. Like, was it a great match? No, but it wasn't terrible. And again, I'm like, all right, the crowd was a little overhyped, but I did kind of, I did kind of take a big dookie on, JEFFJARRETT Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I still didn't want to see it, but now that I've seen it, it was like,
I
all
wasn't mad
right.
at it. Wasn't mad at it.
I wasn't mad at it at all, man. So shout out to Jeff, man. Shout out to Jeff. Orange Cassidy did his thing. All right, now
Still
that we
being
got
able
that
to
up.
move, like him and Jericho, man, still able to move and be
Yeah.
respectable enough in the ring. Like just that I ain't gonna lie, I got to give him credit for that too.
Especially when you look at, and not to get off topic, but especially when you look at like, okay, like a guy like a Kurt Angle, and it's funny I'm bringing his name up in this situation, but it's like when you look at Kurt Angle and how the year he came in, Jeff Jarrett already had years of wrestling on Kurt Angle, and the fact that Kurt Angle can't
But by that
really.
time, Kurt Angle was already established like that. But that time frame of when Kurt Angle, before Kurt Angle got into TNA, he was already like multi-time champ. Like he was actually Kurt Angle at his peak. Like this was peak Kurt Angle.
Well, no. So, like, what I meant was like, because you were saying like how crazy it is to see him and Chris Jericho at their age still going in the ring. I was
All
just
right.
saying the fact that he had in the ring experience. He had years on Angle, and it's funny that Angle has been out of the ring for years, and Jeff Jarrett is still going. Like
But
like
that's
he
also
ain't never.
but I think that's more of his neck issue. I think for Kurt
Yeah,
Angle is
yeah,
more of his neck. If his neck wasn't as bad as it is, because the man can barely do this without it really
yeah,
looking bad or hurting. I think he would have had a longer career. He could have, really maybe wrestled a little longer than what he did,
right,
or at
right,
least be
right.
able to wrestle now, but just not look as bad and stiff. Still be able to move, pick up, fall, take a fall, and stuff like that. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett, he didn't do too much. He wasn't overpowering. He did every dirty trick in the book to try to win, and
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is, man. But Orange Cassidy
Yes.
prevailed. All right, man. So we got the Outcast. They basically talked their trash
What's
about
up,
Jamie
Doug?
Hayter, Britt Baker. What up, Doug? Uh, Rio, Willow, Sky Blue, Jamie
Mm-hmm.
Hayter, and Britt Baker came down to put them paws on them. But then, of course, the numbers game got to them. So then, of course, Rio, Willow, and Sky Blue, they came down to save. At the end, Jamie was cool with Rio, but Britt Baker
Yeah.
looked at Rio. You're like, I don't care. You got that pipe in your hand. I still. I'm like, damn, Jay. Like, damn, Britt. Like, damn, okay, Britt. Like, you still kind of heelish, huh? You ain't
Yeah.
turned fully baby face. Okay, all right. Still got my eye on you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course, man, we got the rundown for Rampage. Ty Valkyrie, like I said, she's going to have her match. Ray Phoenix answered the open challenge to
Yeah.
Mr. Hobbs' first title defense of the TNT Championship. So we're gonna get to my boy San Dinero,
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix going up against Real Hobbs for that TNT Championship. Hook is going to then fight Stokely next week on Dynamite for the FTW
I
Championship.
laughed when I saw that. I'm like,
I
oh,
laughed when I
really?
saw that too, and I'm like, I can't so wait to see how bad that goes. And then after that, man, we get to the main event.
Yeah.
I don't really need this no more. I'm gonna put that
Mm-hmm.
down. We get to the main event, man. And of course,
Yes,
who
sir.
comes out first? But we got them boys, the champions. We got them boys, the House of Black, with the best. What Jericho say, the best intro in wrestling business today. And I kind of
Yeah.
like the new one where it wasn't the black with the light in the back. It was more kind of like a statically but darker, and you seen them walk out on the stage. That was kind of cool. That boy
Yeah.
Brody King, man, hey, it's something different about that kid. I like
Yeah.
it's just something different about
Yeah.
him. I like him,
Yeah.
man. And then of course, man, we got the elite, and of course, the crowd went crazy for this favorite son, second son, Kenny Omega. But of course, that Judas hit, and they just went extra. It's like, man, they went bananas, okay, for
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's no shade that they didn't go as hard for him as they did for Jericho. But
Mm-hmm.
Kenny don't have a theme song to sing. All
Yeah.
right, it's just
Yeah.
they were just cheering for Kenny. Jericho came out, man. Them folks was singing the shit out of Judas. Like, it was
Come on
like
now.
every syllable of every person was on point, on key. And the Lessex gods was set with Daniel Garcia. Them some damn fools. Them and their little poses. But uh, I thought that was cool. That like I say, they were the main event. We got the trios championship and the three-way match. Bro, it started off with Malachi and no, it actually started off with Brody King and Sammy, but then Sammy couldn't handle him.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia couldn't handle him. Jericho tried to handle him, but Jericho was like, nah. Malachi got in, and then when Jericho thought he was gonna fight Malachi, Kenny Omega got the slap in, and then so we got
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega, we got Chris Jericho in the ring. The crowd goes bananas again, and the House of Black says, nah, not tonight, and they break that up real
Yeah.
quick. I like the little subtle things they did in this match. Now, I felt like this match hit on all cylinders. But when I
Mm-hmm.
say that, I mean good and bad. They paced it. They had some good wrestling. They did their spot fest. They made their botches, and the ending was bad. I didn't like the ending. The ending fell flat, and the crowd let you know the ending fell flat. Even though the right team won, other
Right,
than
right,
them
right.
not, other than not the elite or the JSA winning, but I think it's what how the execution went. It wasn't so much as that they were mad that the House of Black lost. I think it was the execution of the finish that kind
Yeah.
of put the damper on it. With that being said, I thought it was still a great match. Um, everybody got their shine. Everybody got their shine. Everybody had a moment.
Hmm.
Sammy almost botched the Sua. He almost didn't make it to the top rope, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. He finished it off. But yeah, I felt like I said, I felt it hit everywhere, good and bad. What did you think,
Uh-huh.
man?
Nah, I mean, just like you, bro. Really good match.
Hmm.
Again, with situations like this, so somebody said it best, a WCW ending. Uh, you know,
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
that's what
it,
that was. That's what that was.
that was very Ted Turner,
Ish.
Eric Bischoff ish esque, if you will. Uh,
Yeah, it really was.
but
Really was.
and of course it would happen in Canada. But no, dude, it was cool. It was cool. 'Cause it's like you said, it did everything it needed to do. First of all, you saw all of your favorites in there, right? And again, this is what I'm talking about. AEW doesn't have the massive amount of airtime that WWE has. So what you see is usually what you get. Unless you're watching Dark or the YouTube channels or whatever the case may be, you get what you get. You're gonna get 2 hours on Wednesday, 1 hour on Friday, maybe two if you're lucky. So the fact that we seen as many stars and as many people, and I liked how we were in Canada and you putting all
And
your
potential
heavy hitters out
matchups.
there.
And potential
Yes,
matchups. Yes.
yes, yes. And bro, like I say, man, like that was great. And then of course, Jericho, technically a heel, but come on, man. First of all, even when
He's
he's in the
home.
state,
He's home.
yeah, even when he's in the
Oh.
States, you're gonna sing his song, one. And then two, he's in his home. He's home. So then of course you got him and you playing off of Jericho Omega again, because everybody know that's really how this whole AEW thing kind of got started in the first place, where it came to the prospect of Chris Jericho leaving WWE. So you got that. You had Kenny Omega, who, unless you was a super hardcore wrestling fan, you didn't really know much about him. But then he went and wrestled Chris Jericho, who everybody knows. That buzz got to swirling around. Like, oh my God, like, bro, if Chris Jericho comes to AEW, like, this gonna be crazy. We're gonna get a Jericho Omega 2. What? So you had that. And like I said, you got Sammy Guevara. We already know, man, our boy Daniel Garcia, he a dog. He's just out there just to be out there,
Up
whatever
and
the case
coming.
may be. How up and coming.
He's a fifth pillar coming up.
Yeah, and then, but like I say, everybody, man, like last night was great. Like I said, the finish left a lot to be desired, but it was what it was. I'm not going to take away from the entire match from that one instance. And I know it's kind of
No.
hypocritical, because I know a lot of times, like we say, man, the match is good, but the finish, this is a little different
And it
because,
was that, but still, it was a really damn good match. And the
and the
crowd made me love the match more than I probably wanted to.
I can't really crap on the match, because to have that many people in the ring wrestling just in and out, in and out, in and out, and it not really look as chaotic or as sloppy as it could have looked. I'm like, okay, you know what? The match still felt clean. It still looked like a cleanly executed match outside the pinfall. Well, not pinfall, but the outside the finish. So I'm
Right.
like, all right, whatever, man. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna give you that one. It was good
Yeah.
though. The show, like I said, the guys did a thing, and you could tell like the crowd really helped. And I believed every performer last night. They fed off that high energy from the crowd. And overall, man, the crowd gave it to them. They gave it to the crowd. We, the people at home, we got a hell of an entertaining show out of it. So I think it was a win all across the board, man. Like I say, definitely. I'm liking the fact that they're, doing, more shows outside of the States. We got WWE about to do a pay-per-view, I think Backlash in Puerto Rico. They've been doing their thing over in Europe. So it's like, yo, bro, give these internet, and in Canada, I mean, it's like
Canada gets the
international, but
love.
not really.
Canada gets the
Yeah,
love more than anybody because they're
yeah,
they're a regular in their stop in their
yeah,
tour, almost
yeah.
every always a part. And AEW, they're not done in Canada because we
No, no,
already
no, no, no.
announced the Forbidden Door 2 That's right.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door 2 will be in Toronto.
Dose.
So that
Yes, sir.
oh yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome there for that. And that's gonna be in June. That's gonna be right around vacation time. I can't wait
Woo!
for it. Ooh, I can't wait.
Ready.
Uh but yeah, no, I thought the match was good. Like I say,
Mm-hmm.
there was some one-on-one matchups. There was some guys. I mean, Jericho and Kenny Omega went at it a few times. Malachi Black
Yeah.
and Jericho went at it. Malachi Black and Kenny Omega went at it. Buddy
Yeah.
Matthews and Kenny went. Like there was some like, man, I ain't gonna lie. There was a couple of matchups. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I actually want to kind of see one of these guys go one-on-one a few times.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. Like you said, for 9 people to be in the ring and for them to not not be as cluttered as it could have been,
Mm-hmm.
not as
Mm-hmm.
much, not all of that. So I had to give him that. Again, was it a spot fest? Sure, I expected that, but just
Mm-hmm.
just based on who was in the match. Just
Yeah.
when you think of Guevara, Garcia, you think of the Elite. Man, dude, they're finna hit spots. Okay, like the House of Black, they were beating you down. They were being brutal. They were beating you down, but everybody else was hitting spots. Jericho was wrestling. The Elite, they were spots, especially Kenny Omega. I know people get on Twinkle Toes because but I ain't gonna lie, man. Look, I like the way he works in the ring. The fact
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when he's getting
Yeah.
ready to do the springboard jump and he bounces off the second rope, I feel like that gives you the speed to really. It's like you don't really pay attention to how much speed this dude just really picked up. Like you
Mm-hmm.
go, like you run the bounce off one rope, but then bounce off that other one, and then got to come to a subtle stop to just and
Yeah.
clear it. Like, come on, man. I don't think nobody can really, unless you got good hops. Nobody's just running and jumping off one rope bounce. Like
Right.
you're
Right.
not, or just trying to run and just go. Like I feel like you got to build up that momentum. So there are certain things he does, man. That front Samoan snap where he flips over and jumps on the rope and it comes back.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
it hit hard it's just the way he snaps when he does suplex. I just love what he does, man. There are just things he does that I see why people like him and I see why people say what they say about him. But then there's a few times where I see where the Tweaker Toes, McGriffin
Make
comes
finger
out, man.
bang.
McFinger bang, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So McFinger bang because there's always the bang. But other than that, man, I rocks with Kenny Omega, man. I rocks with
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah. No, I
So
do too. I do too. I mean, like I said, overall, man, AEW, they were lit. We got a couple more shows coming up in a great
Rito.
Canada.
I was about to say, like, where you going with it? As
You
far
thought I was about to
as
say Mexico. No.
man, I was about to say, man, please don't say the wrong spot. As far as tomorrow, because
Yeah.
Rampage is not coming on until 11:30.
Boo.
Not even going to try to attempt to watch that.
Nope.
SmackDown is going to come on. So we were thinking, do we want to just do a SmackDown block party, or do we just want to do one cohesive show for y'all Saturday? And we're gonna do one cohesive show for y'all Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So no block party tomorrow, but
No.
we'll make it up to you on Saturday. And then we'll
Yeah.
talk about everything that happened on SmackDown. We'll talk about everything that happened on Rampage, and we'll shoot the shit on just anything and everything that happened in the wrestling for the week. And we'll just have just kick it with the people, man. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, is your AEW block party. Well, actually, it's just your Thursday night block party, but we were talking that talk with AEW. Bro, any final thoughts, man, before we get on here, man? Anything that from the show that's really stuck on the mind and got you prepared for next week?
I mean, not any one thing specifically. Like we're building up to a bunch of new and potential opportunity.
Yeah.
Taya Valkyrie, she was rumored to appear. She showed up. I'm curious. I want to see what that's looking like. Jade Cargill, 54-0. I don't even know if you got 54 women on the actual full-time roster of AEW. So you got to do something different with her coming up soon. You got the Outcast, in the women's division. Let's see where they're going with that. You got Powerhouse Hobbs. We entering the era of Hobbs, baby. He ready. He
He a
ready.
bad man. He a bad man.
He a bad man. He a bad man. And then of course, you got the whole trios division on fire. Hey, who gonna do what? You got Orange Cassidy. He racking up the wins left, right. So bro, right now, man, AEW's in a good spot. I feel like the last 2 weeks, especially, they've done really well. I know
Especially
that
coming off that pay-per-view.
yeah, I know they said the viewership had dipped a little bit yesterday in comparison, but I don't give a damn what the viewership says. I watched it and I know what I saw, and I saw a great card, and it was a great card in front of a great crowd, and this set up a lot of potential opportunities moving forward. So I'm ready,
It
man.
dipped. It dipped because it's Wednesday night basketball, man.
And
Doug,
that's
we'll
what people
catch you
gotta
later, man.
understand. We getting into basketballs, playoff season. So of
Right.
course, man, I'm gonna say I ain't gonna lie to you. We still got college basketball tournaments going on.
Right.
So
NCAA tournaments, like, man, this is the moment. Even SmackDown gonna feel it Friday. Like they gonna
yeah,
feel it too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
AEW ain't the only one. Everybody gonna kind of feel it, man. That ain't basketball right now. Between the tournament, you got the rest of the NBA season going on, playoff positioning
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. Hell, you got the trades and the NFL free agent. Man, there's a lot going on right now, man. So right now, but you still got the hardcore fans taking the time out to watch it. So I'm, AW, whatever, man. Wait till this basketball season is ended.
Yeah,
It'll change. It'll change because baseball season will just be actually baseball season getting ready to start up itself. Damn.
yeah. 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 22 days. Well, that's the home opener for us, but yeah.
But all right, man. With that being said, great job as always.
I
Ladies
try.
and
I
gentlemen,
try.
boys and girls of all ages, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of GLW, the Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly. I'm the 29-year-old piece of gold. He is your King Two Code, and we'll see y'all when we see you. Peace.